Uncontrollables. It's day 9 here in Riyadh, and I'm delighted to bring another show your way. And what an exciting episode this is, as we've got the sister of Erin Routliffe, Tara Routliffe, the real star of the show, out here in Riyadh. And we're going to be getting to all questions that we've had coming through for Tara. We're going to be finding out about her experience here in Riyadh, and we'll also be reviewing the day's play here, as we had a bit of a shock result, I think, in terms of, well, one, Rybakina over Sabalenka. I did call that one last night. Anyway, put my ego to the side. It's fine. It's not about me. But also, we were looking at the Paulini Qinwen Zheng match. Has been an absolute classic. That was 6-1, 6-1 to Zheng. And I didn't see that one today, but we will look at that before we then start to look into the last day of the round robin tomorrow. But firstly, a big welcome to Tara. We've had a big chat already, and we've got to start again because YouTube Live, we've got it wrong. We're messing up. But a big welcome. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Honored to be here again.
Again, we got to pretend that we haven't messed up, you know.
I know.
But my starting point, actually, for anybody that has watched Gabby and Erin's matches this week, you would have heard this incredible support coming from the corner, this enthusiasm, and I do believe you've got the front row seat with the camera, the coach cam, that you're jumping up and the fists are pumping and the woos are going, so much so that as we walked off court the other day, Coco Gauff came up to you to let you know what a great hype woman you've been, and has she offered you a job yet to go into her player box?
No job yet, but stay tuned. I still have pretty high hopes about it. I think I really made a good impression. That's my job. I'm hype woman number 1. I titled myself in match 1 as the woo girl, so I feel good about it.
Well, it's you're certainly doing that job very well, and we're gonna get into a few things, Tara. We're gonna get into, firstly, your experience out here in Riyadh. I think there's been a lot of discussion, obviously, before we came out, and I think rightly so. Females in particular were concerned. You know, we hear things from afar. We're not sure how it's going to be, and you've now been here for 10 days. And how was your experience being here in Riyadh?
I mean, with the tournament, it's been really, really great. We've been treated absolutely like royalty. I feel wildly pampered this week. I mean, the players have been treated really well. I'm not actually a coach, but obviously I'm here in the coach role for Erin this week. So I get a lot of the perks as well, which has been really fun and really, really cool. They've done an incredible job. It's quite an insulated bubble from the rest of, Riyadh and Saudi Arabia. We kind of live within hotel and site and getting carted back and forth. You don't really experience, I'd say, like the real Riyadh or whatever that would be, other than when you go to dinner, or like we've been to the mall and stuff like that. So those instances, you kind of get like snippets of it, which is interesting, I would say, obviously, the, women's rights here is the main focus. And within the tournament, I would say you don't notice anything. But outside of it, again, we're quite insulated. We don't have a ton that we get to see. But personally, I would say, you can see some of the things that women aren't allowed to do or wear. Like, they have to obviously dress super modestly, and we kind of have to fit into that as well when we're out in public without, the tournament bubble. So we have to be really mindful about what we're wearing. Like earlier tonight, we were in Diriyah, which was awesome. But I was like sweating in this knit sweater I had on, and I couldn't take it off because I would have had to, have my shoulders out, which would have been a big no-no. So it's just those things that you have to be mindful about that normally you wouldn't, like, I don't know, being loud in public, or like language isn't, the Routliffe strong suit always. So those things having to be really mindful of is quite just a shift and a focus that you wouldn't normally have to think about, and we aren't really that good at thinking about. So that's been tough. And then otherwise, it's just like, it kind of goes hand in hand, but because we aren't used to dressing super modestly all the time, and then, we're not in the abayas, we're not wearing like the typical clothing, you definitely get looks that aren't my favorite type from some men sometimes when you're off site and out in the mall or at restaurants and stuff. So that's just been, an experience.
And in terms of, whenever I see you, you're talking to somebody different. If they're not doing the nails, they're doing your hair, or they're doing, and that your bubbly character, brings that, magnetizes that. But you've got to speak to quite a few women that are more local, that have got local businesses here. And is that what you were expecting? Is that, what have you learned from them? How's their lives? Give us a little bit of an insight into that.
Yeah, that's been super neat. So the tournament has a salon, Base in Boone is what it's called. They have like 3 locations here in Riyadh. I think they're opening a 4th. Anyways, I got to meet the 2 owners of that, one of the main hairstylists from there. Her and I have just been hanging out most of the week the whole time. I'm always in there getting my hair done. And so that's been cool. The first day, the owner of the salon, or one of the owners, was telling me about how far women's rights have been coming recently, and, that she was able to open this business. That stuff's been kind of neat to see, and it's kind of interesting because just naturally I kind of want to take all of that with a grain of salt. She was telling me about how far everything's come and how many opportunities there are and how many firsts there have been for females, which is obviously great, and she was super excited about, but it's hard to leave that small bit of judgment out of it.
Yep.
The hairstylist I've met is an absolute force of nature. She's wild. She I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this podcast, but she won't take.
Absolutely, go for it.
Great. She won't take shit from anybody. She is just a force of nature, and absolutely not what I would have expected to meet here. So that's been cool just to get to know her. And both women, or all the women in the salon, really, I've wanted to dig a little deeper and try and see what else I can find out about what life is like for them. Because, obviously, other than talking to them, it's just Google, and it's Googling what rights do women have, and how does a woman start a business here, and whatever, and they need these guardians and that has all male relatives to allow them to do things and whatnot. And I'm not super up to date on what they need permission for and what they don't, and what's allowed and what's not allowed. So that's something I've wanted to do more, is find out even more about it.
So the girls need to win more matches so that you can nitpick, and you can come back on this podcast in 2 or 3 nights' time and you can share with us. So that's the motivation, Gabby and Erin, if you're listening.
Let's go.
and the one on a lighter note, it's actually a bit of a darker note, but hopefully it'll turn light, is I listened to a podcast today, and you've been brought up in a tennis family, right? You told me the other day that you made an early decision, not going down that road, and you went into your sport, away from tennis, more of a team sport, and maybe not quite the darkness that comes with tennis, and the loneliness and the challenges. And in this podcast, there was a coach speaking, and he was saying, this player that I work with came back from a trip of 3 weeks. And as he was talking to him about the trip, the player said, you know what, in the last 3 weeks, I haven't laughed once, which is really sad. And it's sad, but it's probably quite normal. However, the last 10 days, I think our team has taken it to an extreme the other way. And anyone that's been watching the practice sessions, been watching our lunches, been seeing us around, we've had an amazing time. So tell us why has there been so much laughter, and also tell us of the positive impact that's had on your sister, and also Gabby, and then them two together as a team.
Right. Well, I mean, the why is I'm obviously the funny one in the family, so that's an easy answer. But no, honestly, I think all 4 of us, we've just really clicked and gotten along really, really well. I think our senses of humor mesh really well.
And Vicky, shout out for Vicky as well. Come on.
Yes, absolutely, Vicky. I love Vicky. Yeah, come back, Vicky. That was super fun when she was here as well. I think we've all just really meshed and have similar senses of humor, and I don't know, we're all willing to laugh and to have a good time, and to put tennis aside for a minute and have dinner, or whatever it is that we're doing, just crack jokes. The car rides, they're hysterical.
That would be a podcast, wouldn't it? The car cam.
Allowed. Just today we said, what is said in the car stays in the car. Cannot be used against you in a court of law.
No. You do not want to hear the car rides with Dabrowski Routliffe team, I tell you. No. It shocks me at times in the front, never mind the driver.
Shocks all of us, yeah. No, I think it's been essential though, like to just bring that like fun element. And Gabby and I talked about in Tokyo, like how important the balance is of it all and how she's been trying to work on that balance between like life and tennis. And obviously for tennis players, it's hard, like this is your passion, it's your career, it's your livelihood, it's, everything. It's in and out, day in and day out. So it's really hard. I think it's easy to get tunneled in and really focused, but I think it's really important to, it's the same for any career really, to bring that balance. But if you kind of can let go of tennis or whatever it is and live your life and enjoy those moments, then it's only going to help on the court when you're practicing. It's just going to help so that that drive is there.
That's the most serious I've heard you all week.
I know.
You switch it on for the podcast.
Yeah, I had to bring it.
And I want to go into a couple of things because I promised you about 15 minutes. It's going to be a little bit more because we've advertised this all the last 9 days, and never have we had so many questions. There's questions coming from all over, all aimed at you, so
Nice.
get ready. They're going to be coming. But I have a little quick fire round. And
Oh,
what I'm basically going to say is I'm going to say something that and related to here, your experience here. So I say
okay.
that word and whatever your experience has been. So I'm going to start food.
Oh, delicious. 12 out of 10. Scrumdiddlyumptious crepes. Let's go.
Is that the number one? The
What, the
crepes?
food? Crepes? I mean, there's crepes at the court. They make them for you on demand. I've had, I won't actually admit how many I've had. It's because it's embarrassing. But no, I don't think that's like the actual highlight. We had dinner last night in Diriyah and it was Saudi food. It was superb. It was really, really cool. But food's been unbelievable.
A big tick for the food. The
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi.
Ooh, Wi-Fi has been, lagging literally. At the courts, less than ideal. I spent the day working at the hotel today because the courts was subpar. It won't really work for social media all the time, which is part of what I do for work. So, hotel's been solid for the most part for me, but the courts is hit or miss.
Coffee.
Oh, started really strong. Last couple days, it's fizzled. Coffee's been okay. Now the tea, I'm in.
Because I'm not a coffee drinker, though I did have an
Yeah.
iced coffee today with lots of vanilla and basically sugar, basically
Yeah.
sweets, basically sweets, and pretended it was a coffee.
Yeah.
But I spoke to someone today, and they were saying like, get those. I started with those three because I know it sounds ridiculous, but when you're traveling 35 weeks a year, it's your home, right? And this is the grand tournament of the year, the showpiece for the WTA. WTA don't run the Grand Slam, so this is their showpiece. This is their
Hmm.
biggest event. Get the Wi-Fi right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Yeah.
Get it
And it
right. Get it.
started well. It really did start well because the first few days on site, I was working and it was good.
Yeah,
Last
but
few days,
there's not
yeah.
that many people here. Get that right. I'm not a coffee drinker. Get the coffee right.
Yeah.
Invest in the coffee. Get the coffee right. If you've got coffee right, you've got Wi-Fi right, and you've got then a place to charge your devices. In
Yeah.
2024, it's sad, but people are happy. You
Yeah, it's
then
true.
obviously get your transport right, and you get those things right. So we've had
Yeah.
one tick, but we've had two not so much. Facilities,
In what way?
tennis
Like,
facilities, tennis arena.
oh, I could care less. No. No, they seem quite nice. The courts, I mean, the center court is really cool. They've got this light show. I mean, if anyone's watched, if you haven't watched, you have to tune in for like the beginning of the match. They've got fire going up as the players walk out. It's ridiculous. But it's really
Which
cool.
was
So they've done
hot.
a really, oh my God, it was so hot. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to burn Aaron and Gabby's hair straight off. Luckily it didn't. They look great. So yeah, center court is really cool. They've done a great job with the lights and like the setup, the sound. They've done it really well, which is cool. I mean, I don't really, like I said, care about practice courts in the gym and all that jazz, but it looks nice.
Okay, hair salon.
14 out of 10. I'll be there tomorrow. I
Manic.
I haven't missed a day. Yeah, my nails are done. Everything's good. Pedicures. I am as pampered as I've ever been. Absolutely amazing. And the staff,
Well,
I mean, unreal.
Riyadh itself.
Really cool. Like I said, it's, we're still really in the insulated bubble. So in terms of Riyadh, I've seen, the university with the courts. I've seen, is it Al Nasser Stadium?
Yes.
For the football match, which was very cool. That was an absolute experience, like thrilling to the max. That was really cool. I've seen them all, and I've seen Diriyah. Diriyah is also really cool. We were just there earlier tonight exploring at Routliffe, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm not sure, but it was really, really cool. Yeah, it's really cool, like, to see everything. And the people, for the most part, are absolutely, like, really lovely, especially, again, with the tournament. They're all just so happy to have you here, and they're so welcoming. And otherwise, like, outside, people are just, like, I don't know, so, like, calm and quiet.
Last question before we go to your fan questions. Um, using your tennis knowledge, you've been around now pretty much for 9 days. You've seen little tidbits of practice. You've heard us talking. Who is your singles winner? Who are you going to pick as the singles winner this week?
Okay, wait, who's all made it through? Who's all made it?
Sabalenka,
I know Sabalenka, I know Coco.
Sabalenka and Jung, Coco, and then we'll find out tomorrow on whether it's going to be Krejcikova or Iga Swiatek.
Man, okay. Like Sabalenka's such like an obvious answer, you know what I mean? She just got world number one to finish the year. I feel
Lost
like
today though.
I know. I feel like she's been crushing, and I don't know, that loss might give her the fire to like just absolutely pop off the rest of the tournament. Who knows? But then there's like Coco. She's been popping off. She's been crushing it. I mean, she hasn't lost, so I don't know.
And
I'm gonna vote for
that's
Coco.
without you.
I'm,
That's without you in
I
the
know.
box.
Imagine if she adds me to that hype team. I'll be just in the box. Yeah, so Coco. That's my guess.
And I'm not even going to ask you about the doubles because there's no way that you'll pick your sister anyway. So I'm not going to ask you. And the questions coming through. This one: Who is Erin's favorite sister, and why is it Tess?
So did Tess ask that?
I can't say.
So the reason it's Tess is because, Erin can push Tess around, and I, won't. I mean, like I'll just add Erin. She'll
So
flinch.
Tess,
So
Tess is the younger one.
yes,
She's a Paralympian swimmer.
yes,
You're the middle one, and then Erin's
yes,
the older one. Just for people
yes.
listening.
Yeah, so I'm the middle, the absolute prized forgotten child, which I love. I absolutely love to sit in that role. It's my favorite thing. So yeah, Tess is her favorite because she can boss Tess around, and she can't boss me around.
We'll take it. Why aren't there more fans at the tournament?
Oh, I don't know. Good question. Like, there should be. But last match, there were, I guess yesterday, the crowd was way better and super involved. Like, I don't know how much they knew about tennis, but they were getting excited and they were enjoying it. They were whistling, they were cheering. So that was nice. When they do show up, they're super involved and like high energy, which is cool. I don't know why there aren't more. Tennis is ridiculous. It's so fun.
Yeah, well, what I've also found out is the weekend in Saudi Arabia is Friday, Saturday. So
Yeah,
if we go back to day one, which was Saturday last week, we had pretty good turnout, and so
right.
I think Friday, Saturday, and also actually tonight there was a lot more. There seems to be getting more and more and more. So I think Friday,
Hmm.
Saturday is going to be a big turnout.
Hmm.
Saturday in particular, I think it is quite a Saudi thing. I was
Yeah.
speaking to a coach today, and he said anyone he speaks to, they said no, we'll go to the final. And I think that is a bit of a Saudi thing, right? It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, I'll go to the best. I don't.
Yes.
Nah. round
Yeah,
robin. Nah,
yeah. My
don't
friend in
do
the hair
that.
salon, she drives that home for sure because she said something similar where she was like, "Well, when's the big one? When's the one where like you win it and you win? Like that's the one I care about." And I was like, "Fair enough."
I think that's the mentality over here. We've got
Yeah.
another question here coming from Mandarima or Mana Dreamer. Darima. Anyway, um, it's more of a statement really. But can Tara get some behind the scenes footage pre and post match of Gabby and Erin?
Absolutely. I have some on my phone, actually ready to post. I follow me on Instagram. I've been posting a lot of stories on like anything, but I haven't done a ton of pre and post match. It's a good point. So I'll post some more. I do have some pre-match dance party footage. So as long as I get the green light to share that, that'll be coming at you soon.
Well, there's a bit of a story here as well because if you tag Control the Controllables or Soccer Tennis Academy, we will share it out for you.
Nice. All right.
But we have a rule now, tomorrow, as of tonight, we can follow you
Yes.
because there was a mistake happened in the Control the Controllables team. And Tara mentioned yesterday in the car, she was like, oh yeah, at CTC Podcasts followed me today. And I was like, what? We do not follow people that have not been on the podcast. That's our
Which
rule.
I thought you were joking at first.
No, that's our rule. So we unfollowed her, and we will
Yep.
now you've been on, we will follow again. So tag us in, and it will go on.
Deal.
This one comes from an Erica Wortley.
That tracks. I'm nervous
I
about
would.
it though. I don't know.
It's more Erin that should be nervous than you, I think. I would like to know how you and Tara put up with Erin.
Oh, good question. See, I can always count on Erica to ask the important questions. We don't. That's short answer is we don't. We can't do it. It's impossible. Mission impossible. It's impossible to do. You take breaks. No. Yeah. Like I said, she can't really boss me around. You put her in your place, crack a joke. That's where the sense of humor comes in. Crack a joke and everything's good.
You've answered the question for both of us. Into the next question from this very important question. Good life, good travel.
Oh,
KZ.
KZ.
Explain in 3 words why Dan is the greatest. Didn't even put her up to it. This shouldn't be so hard. Why are you
I
taking
don't
so
believe
long?
that. Because only 3 words. Why Dan is the greatest.
That's more like it.
Um, Funny. I just want to say you're hysterical in 3 synonyms. Why Dan is the greatest? No, I'll be genuine. You are funny. You are very thoughtful. And what's the third one?
I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Don't.
Uh, can I say I'm gonna say foodie. Foodie's my third one because we've bonded over food and that's been fun.
There we. I'll take them all. I'll take them all. It's the nicest things that have been said to me all week.
That's actually
We've got
probably
a.
true.
I know it is. Believe me. Uh, got a question here from a Gabby Dabrowski.
Oh, I've heard of her.
She's a baller, and she's coming up with a question.
She
What
does
has
ball.
been what has been your favorite moment?
Oh, my favorite moment? Maybe when Coco Gauff said that I had the best energy in the box. Honestly, just because that's like the most solidifying thing. Like I said, I designated myself as woo girl. That's what I'm here for. And like that's my favorite thing
So
to do. So that was solidifying. And Aaron like was, agreeing. So also that, like
so
very
nothing
reassuring.
so nothing to do with our team. Nothing to do with coming back from losing the first 13 points in a match and winning eleven
No
nine, saving
way.
match point. No,
Was that
all
your
about.
favorite point?
No, I think mine was the ice cream.
Yeah,
But
same.
we'll, we'll take and last question before you go. Are you ever going to come back to Canada? They're missing you in Canada. You've been
Yes.
away. You've been in Japan for 2 weeks, and now you've been in Saudi for 2 weeks. So are you ever going to make it back to Canada?
Absolutely. I'm going straight home when I'm done here. I think we'll do a day of exploring maybe. Who knows? We have to book flights. But yes, absolutely. I'm coming home Sunday or Monday, something like that. Monday or Tuesday latest. But yes, absolutely. I can't wait to go home. It has been super fun these last 2.5, almost 3 weeks. But I am also very ready to go home. I quite like my life at home, so ready for that as well.
And when are you going to start your own podcast?
Uh, I mean, I'll see what the people say. I don't wanna be too greedy or pushy. I'll let the people tell me if that's what they want, and then we'll roll with it.
What would the name of your podcast be?
Oh, that is a good question. Oh, I can't think of that on the spot. No way. No, I can't think of that on the spot at all. This is where I need Aaron to say something super unhinged, and then I would like finesse it to be actually appropriate. That's what we need for the name.
Unhinged.
True. Something along those lines. Could work.
And the joke on that, because people, I'm not just absolutely going for Tara there. The restaurant where the player party happened was called Unhinged.
No, it was
And
called Unstable.
unstable, that was it, unstable. And the amount of tennis players I saw posted pictures with that in the background, with them saying, "Yep, that's us,
I mean,
unstable tennis players."
seriously though, that's the perfect poster moment for tennis. Like, that's it. That's all you need to know.
It absolutely is. Tara, you've been a star. You've been a star the last 10 days. We've still got more work to do here in Riyadh, more shopping to do, and maybe some
Yeah.
matches to win. But
Yes.
you've been a star. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. What a riot.
Thank you. And Tara, it's brilliant to have Tara on. I'm gonna jump into slightly more boring things just to finish, and that is the tennis. That is the tennis here in Riyadh today. A quick review of today. Rybakina over Sabalenka. I did tell you. I felt it. And if you saw any of the match, Rybakina is hitting a serious ball. That slight edge, I don't think Sabalenka is highly motivated on money or points, right? So if it was going to be a bit of an off day for Sabalenka, today was going to be the day. Rybakina, when she's swinging from the hip, a couple of matches under her belt, it did not surprise me at all that she won that match. And she goes to 4-4 record on a hard court against Sabalenka. And that's the one to watch out for in 2025, because she's probably the only player on tour that can actually out-hit Sabalenka from the back of the court or out-serve her off the court. There's other players that can change what they do against Sabalenka. Coco, when she's moving really well and she's getting the forehand up on Sabalenka, and when her serve is staying true, that's one way that she gets to her. But actually, pure ball striking, not many people do it. So fair play, nice to see Rybakina back with us at the highest level of the game, and hopefully that is going to serve her well with her new coach Goran Ivanisevic as she moves into 2025. And then we had the one that I picked as match of the day. I really truly thought this was going to be an amazing match. I know I said at the start of the tournament, Qinwen Zheng is arguably the second informed player behind Aryna Sabalenka going into this event, and we did pick her to go through to the semi-finals. But Paolini, and sitting courtside watching Paolini yesterday, I thought, this is going to be a humdinger, an absolute humdinger of a match. And it just wasn't. It was 1-1. I saw the quotes after the match. I didn't see so much of the match. We were training at the time. And Paolini said, as she goes into her deciding doubles tomorrow to qualify for the semi-finals, she takes on Shannon Kudermetova with Irani. She said, "I'm hope that I'm not as nervous tomorrow." So it sounds quite interesting. It sounds like that kind of eliminator match was maybe a bit too much for Paolini today. Not to take anything away from Qinwen, who's playing some brilliant tennis right now. She's got big support, the Asian support, the Chinese support is massively behind her here. And she goes through as second place. And then we will have then tomorrow in the singles, we will have. There's been a pullout this evening as Jess Pegula lost her first 2 matches, only winning, I believe, 11 games in 2 matches. She's pulled out with a bad left knee. So Daria Kazakina, who's been here all week practicing, kind of waiting for maybe getting a chance, gets her opportunity to come and put in a performance and maybe do Krejcikova a favour, because she plays against Iga Swiatek tomorrow, and I believe if Iga wins that match, she's through, and Coco's already through as well. So can Kazakina do a job on Iga Swiatek and then allow Krejcikova to potentially go through as the second place player if she can win Coco Gauff tomorrow? So that'll be the singles today. A big well done to Melakon Perez, who beat a very uncharacteristic Ostapenko and Kichenok 6-love or 6-1, 6-3 today. If go back a few days, right, Ostapenko and Kichenok were about to win 9-8 up in the third set tiebreak on Siniakova and Townsend. Kichenok had a drive volley top of the net, open court, missed it long by an inch. Ostapenko's reaction wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. They went on to lose the next 2 points, 11-9. And my favourite quote in the world is 10% of life is what happens to you, 90% is how you respond. You know, we're all put in positions at different times. And I have to say, I don't think the response has been very good. They've lost the last 2 matches 6-1, 6-3, and it's looked like a bit of a broken partnership this week. Rather than taking the positives from that and still go and win your next couple of matches and get through to the semi-finals, it seems like they've had a bit of a hangover. So out they go, and then Melakon Perez needed Townsend and Siniakova to win this evening against Sue and Mertens, and they went a set down. They then went into a third set tiebreak. They were 7-2 up. Then it came back to 7-6, I believe. And then it went to 9-8, I want to say. Taylor Townsend missed the first serve and then found a second serve, and Mertens missed a forehand return wide for Townsend and Siniakova to go 3-0 on the group, won 10-8. It just shows in this game, because Sue and Mertens had won that, they would have topped the group. Townsend and Siniakova would have been second, and Melakon Perez, albeit they were 2-1, would have gone out the tournament, but instead they have moved through to the semi-finals on Friday. So tomorrow we have the matches coming up. We found out that Lee and Erin, a big congrats to them. They have won the group. It's still a match, still an opportunity tomorrow against Dollarhide and Kravchuk, and then the showdown match tomorrow night to see who goes through in the semi-finals to play against Townsend, Siniakova, is Paulini and Irani and Chan and Kudermetova. So that'll be an exciting one tomorrow night. My couple of little messages just from the podcast itself is we have had some fantastic podcasts recently, and we've been putting these lives out. I don't want you to miss the ones we've put out as well, the bigger episodes. There were the first one, which is episode 238, is the live show that we did back in April. You know, actually, ironically, talking a lot about Saudi Arabia, talking about the potential new ideas and the new tours that are going on behind the scenes. They haven't come into fruition yet, but they are seriously being talked about. It was brilliant. Justin Sherring, John Morris, and Freddie Nielsen joined me for a brilliant evening. There was lots of you guys there, you know, that came to meet us in person. We had an amazing night, and I think it was a brilliant conversation. And we've kind of held back. We've held back putting that out, but that's gone out in the last week or so. Now, lots of you have asked about it, so it's there now. It's there, so go and listen to that, episode 238. And then we also have another episode, which was the Asian Swing. Myself, Eleanor Preston, Calvin Betton, the coach of Henry Patton, and then Candy Reid, who is working for CNN and is doing the commentating. We were all out in Asia, so we wanted to give you a bit of an insight into how things are out there. That is a fiery conversation. You don't want to miss that one. It's a real fiery conversation, and that has gone out in the last couple of days. That's episode 239. So don't miss those. Get in touch with us. We will be back same time tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Saudi, 8 p.m. in the UK, 9 p.m. in Central Europe, and then go back a few hours in America. I don't know if the clocks have changed, but I know it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon in America. Get your questions in. Be back with more insight here from Saudi Arabia. But until next time, I'm Dan Keenan, and we are Control the Controllables.